सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्.
The early part of the 20th century in India saw the churning of political, social and cultural movements as a reaction to the continued British rule. The visionary Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgewar started one such movement in 1925 by founding the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. The objective was to fight the British and strengthen the foundations of Hindu society from all perspectives: social, economic, cultural, religious, philosophical and political. Dr. Hedgewar wanted to restore the all-embracing characteristic of Hinduism by rooting out evil practices such as untouchability and divisions on the basis of caste. He was concerned about large-scale poverty, lack of educational opportunities, absence of healthcare, neglect of the rural areas, and the haplessness which confronted the entire country at times of calamities. Dr. Hedgewar's ideas have been carried forward by successive generations of RSS leaders. The second Sarsang Chalak, Shri Madhav Sadashiv Golwalkar, addressed as Guruji, continued to bring social transformation within Hindu society. A step in this direction was establishing the Vishwa Hindu Parishad in 1964 and bringing Shankracharyas, Sants and Mahants under one umbrella. In 1969, a historic convention of the VHP took place in Udupi, in which 15,000 delegates and dharmacharyas participated. Shri Vishveshwar Tirth Swamiji of Pejawar Mutt was present in this conclave.
In Udupi, a VHP convention took place, and in it, a decision was reached under the leadership of the Sants that the evil practice of untouchability had to be opposed and removed.
The gathering ended with the historic mantra Hindava Sodhra Sarve. All Hindus are brothers. The words of the third Sarsang Chalak, Shri Balasaheb Deoras: if untouchability is not a sin, nothing in the world is a sin. This must be thrown out lock, stock and barrel. Guide the Swayamsevaks as they pursue the goal of social integration through deeds and action. As a result, service-oriented activities have grown manifolds in the last few decades. But a concerted plan of action to spread the Seva Karyas was formulated in 1989.
1989 में संघ के संस्थापक पूजनीय डॉक्टर हेडगेवार जी का जन्म शताब्दी का
1989 was the birth centenary of the founder of the RSS, Dr. Hedgewar ji. That year, we decided to give a thrust to service activities and involve a larger number of Swayamsevaks. The motivation was always there, but we gave a new dimension to it. As a result, in the last 16 years, 60,000 service programs are being run in the entire country by Sangh Swayamsevaks.
60,000 सेवा कार्य सारे देश भर में संघ के स्वयंसेवकों के द्वारा चलाए जा रहे हैं.
Millions of Indians are still illiterate and many remain uninformed about their nation's rich traditions, cultural heritage and history. The root cause lies in the self-serving educational structure implanted by the British. After independence, successive governments have unfortunately followed lopsided educational policies based on the British system and heavy doses of Marxism. Privatization of education is now encouraged, making it unaffordable for the majority. This grim situation has motivated the RSS and its sister organizations to devote over 40% of service activities to education, concentrating on the girl child and the most marginalized sections of society. The focus of these projects include educating Vanvasis and those in remote rural areas, establishing a network of schools where they are most needed, reinforcing education with yoga, Sanskrit, national games, etc., inculcating Bharatiya Samskars, conducting research and studying alternative systems of education like Gurukuls. Innovative solutions have been found to tackle the challenge of limited resources in far-flung areas. The Ekal Vidyalaya or single teacher schools are proving to be an effective medium for ushering an educational revolution in areas where there is limited infrastructure for education. Inhabiting the isolated and forested areas of Kulur in Kerala are the tribes of Kurma and Kuttunayaka. Ironically, in a state which claims 100% literacy, only a handful of the tribals are literate. But there is hope for the future. An Ekal Vidyalaya is now run with the support of the Vivekananda Medical Mission and the local community. Every evening, children walk through forests and fields to reach the Panchayat Ghar where classes take place.
രണ്ട് മണിക്കൂറാണ് ഡെയിലി ക്ലാസ് നടക്കുന്നത്. ഈ 2 മണിക്കൂർ ക്ലാസ് നടക്കുന്നത് വൈകുന്നേരം 4:30 മുതൽ 6:00 വരെ.
We conduct classes each day for 2 hours in the evening from 4:30 to 6:30. About 22 children come to attend these classes. In the class, we give priority to Malayalam, Hindi, English and mathematics.
ഹിന്ദി, ഇംഗ്ലീഷ്, കണക്ക് ഇതിനാണ് പ്രാധാന്യം കൂടുതൽ കൽപ്പിക്കുന്നത്.
Ekal Vidyalayas are also vehicles for social change. The remote Kheoda village in Gujarat comprises of scheduled castes and tribes who discourage the education of even male children. So the idea of the girl child attending school met with stiff resistance. By careful persuasion and building Kheoda's trust, Seva Bharati volunteers have convinced the community of the importance of education. A total of 80 students now come to the Ekal Vidyalaya, and surprisingly, the majority are girls.
We enjoy ourselves here. We are taught to read and write. We pray, sing songs and have fun.
There are now over 15,000 Ekal Vidyalayas, each bringing the gift of education to lakhs of India's most underprivileged children. The encouragement and support received from the people and the children's enthusiasm is helping Seva Bharati realize the dream of establishing Ekal Vidyalayas in every corner of India. The absence of educational infrastructure in the tribal and rural villages of India is glaring. Even if a school does exist, it benefits those who live in the immediate vicinity. To overcome this challenge, hundreds of hostels for boys and girls have been established in rural areas, small towns and cities. The hostel size varies from housing a few students to those running into the hundreds. There are different types of hostels: for Northeast students, for those pursuing higher education, for orphans, and for the physically and mentally challenged, among others. The tea garden town of Tinsukia, Assam is where the Kalyan Ashram Boys Hostel is located with more than 60 students.
In 1990, one wing of this building was constructed, and now with local help, it has taken this shape. Some 150 children have completed their education from here. We get tribal children from the surrounding areas to study here.
These boys come from remote villages where education is an unaffordable luxury. Once admitted to the Kalyan Ashram, the children are provided with a strong educational, social and cultural foundation.
I came to this Kalyan Ashram in 2001. The economic condition in my home is not so good, so I was brought here to get an education as there are no costs.
In Madhavpur, Arunachal Pradesh, a boys' hostel, Keshav Chhatravas, has been recently started. At present, there are 8 students who attend the local municipal school.
मैं असम से आया हूँ, दुंदुमा.
I've come here from Dunduma, Assam, and I've been staying in the Chhatravas for the last 3 years. I'm in the 8th standard and study in the government higher secondary school. I've come here to get good sanskars. I have made many friends and I'm enjoying myself here.
The facilities, though basic, are being increased gradually.
ये छात्रावास हम चला रहे हैं बच्चों में अपना
We are running this Chhatravas for children to inculcate Indian values in them so that they become nationalistic and patriotic citizens. Secondly, there are many forces attacking our religion and trying to transform our society into other religions and groups. I feel that needs to stop. So that is why our children need to understand our culture and become patriotic.
In Nodhiha, Jharkhand, Vanvasi Kalyan Kendra runs the Saraswati Vidya Mandir, a higher secondary school educating children predominantly from the tribal and the scheduled caste communities. A hostel attached to the school houses over 300 boys and girls.
I have been studying here for 2 years. My parents sent me here as I was not getting a good education in the village. At home, all the work was done by my mother. Here we are taught to become self-sufficient.
The high quality of education along with the hostel facilities are bearing fruit. The school has achieved the distinction of a 100% success ratio in the board examinations. In Meghalaya, a number of excellent institutions and programs are being run jointly with the community. Among these is a hostel in the Seva Bharati Kendra, providing free accommodation to students from rural areas pursuing higher education in the university and professional colleges. The Seema Jan Kalyan Chhatravas in Khewda, Gujarat, provides boarding, lodging and education to children from the border villages. Their family in Delhi, the Sevadham Nivasi Vidyalaya, established in 1975, has emerged as a center for educational excellence. Students from 22 states are housed and educated here. Of the 350 students, the majority are Vanvasis or those belonging to the weaker sections of society. Other educational initiatives are also being taken. Bal Gokulams are centers where children between the age of 6 to 14 are enlightened on Hindu Sanskriti and rich cultural heritage. Abhyasikas or study rooms close to Seva Bastis or slums where children are provided with an environment for self-study. Encouraging adult education with a thrust to educate women. There are lakhs of children in the country who do not have parents or have been deserted for no fault of theirs. It has become the Sangh's mission to provide a complete home for these children. The Anatha Shishu Nivas, Bangalore, is home to 70 children, some only a few days old, like this little girl who was found abandoned on the doorsteps of the Nivas. Seva Bharati runs the Shishu Nivas with a team of volunteers committed to the welfare of the children. The environment is cheerful, with bright and happy colors adorning the furniture and walls. Teachers and administrators ensure that learning is fun and the food provided is wholesome and nutritious. Another unique program is the Nele Rag Pickers Shelter in Bangalore, which houses over 100 street children from different parts of Karnataka. Before reaching Nele, these children had no future. Circumstances forced them to scrounge the streets as rag pickers for their day-to-day survival. At Nele, they have an opportunity for all-round development in a healthy environment, which encourages them to be responsible citizens with strong cultural values. Nele provides them with food, shelter and medical facilities and admits them in schools. No other section of society symbolizes the agony of Jammu and Kashmir than the children who have lost parents to terrorism.
I'm in class 8th and I am from Kishtwar. I've been here for 5 years. I came here after my mother was killed by militants. I came here to get a good education. My father was killed by militants. Most of the children here have lost their mothers and fathers to militants. So I also came here to study.
Swami Vivekananda Bal Niketan is a school and hostel based in Jammu with 61 children aged between 6 years to 16 years.
Some children came here emotionally shattered. We have 2 children here whose mothers were hanged by militants. Some children have seen their fathers being dragged out of their homes and riddled with bullets and killed. So much cruelty has been inflicted by these militants on these innocent children.
Swami Vivekananda Bal Niketan is now their home, providing for all their needs. Future plans include expanding the hostel to accommodate an additional 50 children and also to open a much-needed girls' hostel. Seva Bharati runs a number of centers under the aegis of Matri Chhaya. Before a child is given for adoption, workers of Matri Chhaya make inquiries and ensure that the child goes to a safe and secure home. Other homes like the Sanjeevani Samiti Urekan in Kerala are for orphan girls. 60 of them live here. A number of girls of marriageable age have been found homes by the Sanjeevani Samiti, thus completing the responsibilities that their parents would have discharged. Other homes for children like Paza Hasi Bala Mandiram, run by the VHP in Kerala. The Kalyan Ashram Chhatri Nivas in Assam. The Matri Chhaya Bal Ashram are just some of the hundreds more working to provide a future for children who have been abandoned to fend for themselves. The importance of sanskar stems from the need to educate the younger generation on India's rich religious and cultural heritage and to be proud of the motherland. These values are inculcated in all educational institutions that take inspiration from the RSS. Many sanskar kendras are used as a bridge to forge a closer understanding between communities and children from different economic backgrounds. The Ankur Sanskar Kendra in Dibrugarh, Assam is bringing Assamese and non-Assamese children together. Here they learn sanskars, play and interact together. The Filobadi Lachit Sanskar Kendra, also in Assam, works with the children of Vanvasi tea pickers to inculcate religious and cultural values. Even the reclusive Khasis of Meghalaya are now enthusiastically sending their children to sanskar kendras. In India, healthcare remains neglected in lakhs of villages. There has also been progressive deterioration of hygienic conditions in urban areas where the poor are forced to live in overcrowded slums without basic amenities of clean water, toilets, garbage removal, etc. The irony is that people die of diseases which are preventable and treatable. The poor government health infrastructure and an unaffordable private healthcare option benefits only a small percentage. Seva Bharati, in its efforts to bring affordable and accessible healthcare to every citizen, is devoting over 20% of its service activities in this area. One of the earliest healthcare programs was launched in 1972 when the Swami Vivekananda Medical Mission was founded to serve the medical needs of the reclusive Kuttunayaka tribe in the remote district of Wayanad, Kerala. The small free dispensary in the village of Muttil has now transformed into a full-fledged charitable hospital with the latest medical equipment. A team of professional doctors, nurses, medical attendants and volunteers treat over 150 patients each day.
Last year we conducted more than 400 medical camps in our tribal areas, and we treated nearly 90,000 patients in hospital and medical camps.
The Swami Vivekananda Medical Mission discovered that many tribals of the area had incidents of sickle cell. To treat patients of this disease, it is collaborating with the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. In remote areas, mobile dispensaries are utilized to bring timely medical attention to the elderly, women, children and the disabled. In the secluded mountain village of Nongdom in the West Khasi Hills district of Meghalaya, a Seva Bharati mobile dispensary gives medical access to 70 villages. Dr. Montu Bora accompanies the vehicle and provides medical treatment. Mobile dispensaries also reach out to people living in urban slums. The Rashtriya mobile dispensary covers the city slums of Bangalore. Patients, young and old, eagerly await the arrival of Dr. Rao.
Daily 3 slums for 6 days in a week. 18 slums we selected. We will visit them once in a week. We will treat the orphans and others, elders, particularly old people, where they are neglected in the society. We treat them.
The Rashtriya Mobile Dispensary is very useful for all of us, but the older people benefit the maximum. As they suffer from many ailments, the doctor examines them with care and provides them good treatment and medicines.
Lakhs of people who had no recourse to medical care are now being treated as a result of the 400 fully equipped mobile dispensaries across the country. The success of this project is a result of efforts put in by voluntary doctors, social workers and donors who provide the expertise and the funds for medical initiatives. While primary and preventive healthcare is the focus, there is a growing need for large medical institutions with a range of medical expertise to serve the people. More than 100 hospitals with varying specialities have been established in rural and urban areas. In this sphere, the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Vaidyakiya Pratishthan in Aurangabad, Maharashtra has emerged as a center for medical excellence. Established in 1989 by a team of 6 dedicated doctors, this state-of-the-art multi-speciality hospital serves the city and surrounding areas and provides an affordable option for a range of medical problems.
When we were about to graduate from medical college, we felt the need to serve the poor sections of society. We felt that we should use what we have learned in a more meaningful way to serve the people. With this idea in our minds, we met some RSS members, and then collectively we reached a decision to start a large hospital.
The hospital started in 1989 with 10 beds. It now has the latest diagnostic equipment with comprehensive surgical facilities. There are now 150 beds with a staff of 55 full-time doctors, 32